Alrighty, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renegade Operative, and today we will be talking about The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, honestly, unless you've been living under the deepest rock, you kind of saw this game coming. From the perspective of the leaked LinkedIn accounts and showing Naughty Dog employees having The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered scribble on their names and bios and all that stuff before it got removed. And then we saw and heard more rampant rumors, and then today a gaming file size site revealed the leak of Last of Us Part 2 early, and then it got out. It's Naughty Dog seems to be leak country over there. It's like if this was battle boats or battleships, their boat would be full of holes, because it's a lot of leaks that transpire over at that company. And so far it's been the leaks of 3 Last of Us projects in the past couple of years, which is wild to me. I have no doubt that Part 3 is going to be leaked online, as well as their new IP, because now that's how it is. Unless they get snipers to draw down on people who tend to post all that stuff early, it's the only way to keep it really private. I digress. Let's get into what we saw in the trailer itself. There is indeed things like new costumes. We saw Ellie in astronaut outfit, which is fitting because, of course, she always has these aspirations and dreams that she wants to go visit other planets, and they reflect that with this costume, which is kind of, you know, it's kind of cute in a sense. And then we have some sort of Mad Max Furiosa costume for Abby, which is, it's a little bit weird, strange. I thought that, I don't know if I call it fitting or unfitting. I have no clear and discernible idea on what I think about that costume, other than the fact that I guess if you want to run around with a road warrior outfit and playing as Abby, just bopping motherfuckers left and right, then that is available in the game. And then we go to the features itself, and as I said, I kind of expected this game to happen. It was something that was in the wings. It was something that, while we're waiting in this intermission period of Naughty Dog making a new game, which game development is hard, and now people see them as, you know, top tier, we gonna win fucking 300 Game of the Year awards. That's going to take time to come out with multiple games. They have 3 games in development, which is possibly The Last of Us Part 3. Once again, another new IP based on fantasy settings. Called, I think the code name was Strays Cross. Now we don't know if it's going to be like a fantasy RPG or something like Mass Effect, and they just call that shit Savage Starlight, which is once again the in-game sort of sci-fi space story that is told in The Last of Us, which would be pretty cool. I would like to see like a new sci-fi Naughty Dog IP. And then they have Factions Part 2, which people said was on ice, but we got recent reports of one of the game directors for Factions Part 2, and he said, I'm still working on this Last of Us multiplayer component. I'm still working on that game, signifying that the on ice rumors were kind of false. But I do believe that they are scaling back in a way. I do believe that, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on them scaling back development. I don't believe the on ice theory, or that I do believe that they did eternally delay it to take more time, and they want this thing to really shine out. I personally said it before, I think they should bundle the Last of Us Factions Part 2 multiplayer into Last of Us Part 3 at this point, if it's taking such an excruciatingly amount of time. But I hope all 3 of these titles really shine through and it's worth it in the end. The features for Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, I know the first thing people will ask is, what is the purpose of this remaster? Why are they making it? The original game looked so good and it played so good on that PS4, PS5 patch that they put out for PS5. Like, why are they remastering this game? I'll simply tell you, number one is the load times. Now look, I've played Last of Us Part 2 from the PS4, and I downloaded it onto my PS5, and these load times are dog shit. They are literally naughty dog shit. You can call it that in a sense, because they take forever. You just can't simply just jump into a certain chapter or whatever. Chapter select takes like about a minute or two to really load into the game. So that minor inconvenience still kind of pisses me off, even if it plays so smoothly on the PS5 with the patch, with the 60 FPS patch. I don't like the fact that you just simply can't jump into any chapter immediately in about the span of a few seconds. And then there's the folks who will say, well, what is the purpose of the remaster? Why are they constantly remastering games? Well, I mean, a studio, I don't find anything personally wrong with remasters in the industry. We've seen Insomniac do it with Spider-Man 1. They placed it on PS5. It loads faster, looks better. It happens, and that game only came out, what, span of a, not even like a full 5 years. Like, we got to stop putting numbers on when a remaster should come out, because we've seen remasters come out in a very short amount of time. Usually, hell, at the end of a console generation, if it's a very highly acclaimed game, we're gonna see remasters of it a lot. We've seen a lot of remasters of some of the Persona games. We've seen a lot of remasters of RE4, and then we got a remake. So yeah, that game also rests in a vacuum. We've seen multiple updates with Street Fighter 2. This is not uncommon in the industry that a game will be put out and it's going to be put out a bunch of times. It just happens. It is what it is. At least one of the things I can commend is that this does have a $10 upgrade path, so it's not really a lot of money, as opposed to the issues that people had with part 1 and that remake, and how it was $70 for a remake. It was whatever, I got that for free. But I digress. This is just $10, and for the $10 to upgrade everything and get the extra graphical enhancements, the lost levels, the full DualSense, the new costumes, guitar play is going to be like sort of free guitar play, and then the exclusive new roguelike survival mode, you can't beat $10. Now, of course, we had people complain about $10 content went fucking separate ways, but I digress. Idiocy at its finest. We're going to get into the details here of all the features they added. So clearly graphical stuff has been improved. Most of the screenshots, I will agree with people that they look identical. You might see some softer lighting, you might see a little bit of a touch of coloring here or there, or some small desaturation. I don't know what they did, but like the screenshot that they showed compared against the PS4 version looked exactly the same this time. 100%. That just shows the graphical prowess of The Last of Us Part 2 on the PS4, because that game already looks like a next-gen title. I'm sure there's going to be enhanced fidelity, ray tracing, the 4K, all the stuff you come to expect, along with the DualSense features being implemented in The Last of Us Part 2 this time around. Let's go down the list and see what else do they have. Now, there's this cool new roguelike survival mode, and it kind of reminds me of Naughty Dog's own personal mercenaries called No Return. Lets players prove and meddle and design the whole mode around randomized encounters, so you can experience The Last of Us Part 2's combat in a new, fresh experience. The mode has a host of playable characters to choose from, some playable for the first time in the Last of Us franchise, which you may have seen spoiled in the trailer. We saw Lev, we saw what looked like Tommy, Mel. I think we also saw another character. Well, obviously it was Dina stabbing the guy at the end, just shanking the fuck out of him, right? We saw that with the machete, El Machete, baby. And this mode seems to be gauntlet mode, which is cool. This is something I wanted in Factions Part 2, right? Where you're just fucking around with your buddies and you're trying to survive with the co-op gauntlet, and you're fighting against enemies, and it's like PvE, player versus environment, and you're just horde moding it up. And I wanted this from the beginning. Hopefully they reconstruct this idea and they put that in Factions 2, and that would be sick as like a small additional mode that you can play with your buddies and you fight against the monsters, bloaters, rat kings. Oh my god in heaven, I'm coming right now. Don't mind me, I'm just excited. I'm really excited for this. I feel I love The Last of Us Part 2, so they're just adding more icing to the cake, in my opinion, as a Last of Us fan. But it suits differing playstyles. You know, you can play how you want. You can chart your own course with each run. You can select various stealth and combat encounters that will pit you against a range of enemies with unique twists that can add new and unexpected factors to any given encounter. Hopefully that means customizing loadouts and making it harder or easier on yourself. That would be pretty cool. It is roguelike, so it's going to be randomized and different, and you get differing awards with each encounter, more skins, characters to progress the mode and customize your runs. And there is a global leaderboard, which is nice. It again reminds me of Mercenaries with Resident Evil, and that's always a welcome treat to see The Last of Us sort of like facelift that a little bit. The playable guitar being, you know, you can free and play it anywhere and just modulate it. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I only messed around with this when I had to. It is cool that people can make their own music and sort of tamper around with this. I saw people playing Johnny Cash, and I thought that was pretty impressive to emulate that factor. So I'm sure more free chapters to play with the guitar is going to bring some ingenuity to how people show and present their music. And then let's see, I'm going down the list. There's some more behind the scenes lost levels, levels that were previously cut from the game. They aren't fully finished, but early development slices that not only let you see some new glimpses of Part 2's world, they also have embedded commentary to give richer context to what's going on. This shows, obviously everyone knows from the podcast that they had on The Last of Us, it had cut content. There was stuff about Joel's girlfriend, backstories with Esther and Ellie hunting a boar, and it looks like she's wearing Joel's jacket in one of the screenshots. So this might be after she leaves Dina while she's boar hunting, or maybe before, but I don't know. Still, it is fascinating. I wonder how long these levels are gonna go. They obviously have some stuff with the dance as well, an extended dance scene. I can kind of see why these levels were cut. Nobody has any idea on the third cut level, which I assume might be an Abby level, or what people are asking for, which is Ellie going to the Seraphite Island, which would be pretty fucking cool. They have like some sort of combat encounter, maybe spruce it up a little bit before January 2024, baby. All right, that would be nice. Just her going to the island, that was cut, and just fucking some shit up. I want that in the game. Come on, man. Give me what I want, man. All right, obviously they have the 4K or 1440p performance mode, unlock frame rates, all that jazz, all the tampering around, as well as bringing back all of the accessibility from the original game. Obviously that has not changed, and that is, I think that is mostly it for this remaster. It's just a lot of I'm reading the official article and the stuff they're talking about, and bonus skins. How many skins are we getting? We're getting skins for the guns too. Oh shit. Okay, hopefully we get more than just the ones we saw in the trailer. They said plural, so I'm hoping. Let's go down. What else do we see? There's gonna be obviously a new physical edition called the WLF edition, which is probably going to outsell again. People say, oh, The Last of Us is dead, but these special editions just always sell the fuck out, and this is no different. You'll get a special steelbook, which the art is heat, featuring additional digital content. You'll get 47 Society Champions traded cards, holographic cards. You'll get special pins, and you'll get a Washington Liberation Front patch, which is the faction that Abby comes from, and you hunt down for most of the game. And last but not least, like I said, $10 to upgrade. It's not really a bad deal at all. I can see if it would be crazy if this motherfucking game was like fucking it was like, hey, fuck that upgrade pad, here you go, we're gonna have to buy it again. It's like, goddamn, but still, they throw a bone. $10, it's not that bad. And I don't even mind 70 for part one. Like, fucking, if I really wanted it, I would have just got it, no problem. It's like not a big deal. But clearly they're setting up for people who want to experience and get into The Last of Us yet again because of that TV show. And like I said, transmedia marketing works, man. No matter what you say, it works, because we saw not only this example happen with The Last of Us Part 1, where that game took off big once the casuals got more into it and said, hey, these are the sales, this shit is skyrocketing after people watch that TV show. The same's probably gonna happen for part 2 as well, where it's like, we're putting this out, and now if you want to play the definitive version of part 2, go out, get it right now. It's coming out in January. Pre-orders are coming December 5th. So, it just is what it is, man. And Cyberpunk had transmedia marketing after Edge Runners. Cyberpunk sales actually went up because people were invested to go out and play the game because they saw this amazing show, which I'm not surprised by. That's just a marketing tactic at this rate. And hey, if it works, it works. Good movie or good fucking TV show comes out, some people are going to be invested and they want to become new fans of the game. That's what this is for. And existing fans, you got the $10 option if you got the original. So I have no real big issue with this at all. I'm trying to see what else did they offer. I know there's going to be a speed run mode as well, which I kind of, that's kudos to speedrunners. It's not my big cup of tea, and I find The Last of Us Part 2 to be like long as fuck anyway, so I doubt I'm gonna be speedrunning that game. But there you have it with the content. There's new features, so it kind of debunks and shut down. It shuts down like those people who thought there was not gonna be any content in this remaster. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be fun. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I know there's people that want Naughty Dog to make a new IP or something different. And like I said, it's only been like, what? Once this game comes out, it's 4 years into whatever they're cooking for the 3 titles that they're making. And I think those games won't start to show and rear its head until 2025, because game development's fucking hard, dude. It's been a while since Rockstar showed shit, but I feel like these companies, these 2 companies, are seen as genre defining, top tier echelon graphics, top tier echelon storytelling that resonates with a lot of people, and therefore this is why their games are like games in a generation. And to live up to that namesake is something that's brutal. It's like your company is being seen as the best of the best, and honestly, it's a lot of best companies out there. Don't get me wrong, Insomniac is getting up there, man. Capcom, very great company too, but your games are seen as game of the generation. You got to deliver each and every single time. Someone said just put up a JPEG and maybe we'll be content with that. Nah, because we've been waiting years for Metroid Prime 4 with a JPEG. We waited like 3 or something years, and people were getting restless and agitated for Resident Evil 2 remake when they did the whole We Do It campaign, and you saw the banner, the cool ass black and blue banner of Resident Evil 2 remake. And we had to wait 3 years, and people were getting tired, doubting. I don't think showing off JPEGs to games that are far away in the future, or showing trailers to games that are far away in the future, will cut it, because I feel like people would just be angry at Naughty Dog anyway if they showed off a JPEG and the game was like 2 to 3 years out. I think we are in that sort of impatient era where we want things now, we want things there, and we want the game to come out as soon as possible. If there is no current release date, what are we talking about? And I do agree with that sentiment to an extent. What are we talking about? We're talking about nothing until we see the actual release date close in. And I agree with that. I think we should get game announcements and game reveals and game updates when the game is almost done. I think we had to wait a little while for RE4 Remake, but it wasn't really that excruciating, and I think that's the way you should do it. Be like a couple of months out, no problem, then show that JPEG or something, like, or then show that fucking trailer, say it's coming like 4 months later, or it's coming tomorrow. Or I don't think anything could be like a hi-fi rush anymore, where it's like the second they showed it was, I think, the day it was out. That was the best way to do it. If I could have every game reveal do it in a way where it's like, fucking, you show the trailer, that shit is out today. That shit out. That shit is out today. Then that's the way I would want it. But honestly, you know, it can't have it my way all the time, so you know, it just happens. Anyway, hopefully you guys really enjoyed me talking about The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. I can't wait to delve into this, play the little no return mode. It's gonna be fun. I'm definitely gonna be streaming that, since it's gonna be all survivalist nonsense. And I hope they show a Rat King, like have like 2 Rat Kings. I want something super crazy and that would be playing. Woo! I'm gonna be so happy, man. But I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and stay up, Last of Us fans. Take care of yourselves. Later.